Coming up, the Molly Tibbetts trial is moving forward with a hearing scheduled to take place at a later date. And later, the first annual Iowa's Ride is happening next year, and we've got all the details.
Today in sports, we take a look into MVP Keith Duncan and his tendency to carry the team.
And basketball is dribbling their way into the season.
More for you in just a few minutes.
Not to disappoint fall sweater lovers, but it's going to warm up this weekend. Stay tuned for the weather for more.
All that and more coming up on this Tuesday morning edition of DITV. Don't go anywhere. We start right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Lauren Varell. The man charged with Molly Tibbetts' murder is appearing at the Poweshiek County Courthouse later today for an evidence suppression hearing. The hearing will determine whether or not Christian Behana Rivera's rights were violated by authorities. We have Daily Iowan Editor-in-Chief Marissa Payne in the newsroom with the pretrial rundown.
All right, good morning, Lauren. We found out just a bit ago that today's hearing has been moved to a later date. But when the hearing does take place, that will determine whether Behana Rivera's rights were violated during questioning by law enforcement last August in the first-degree murder of Molly Tibbetts. Depending on the outcome of this hearing, that will determine whether certain statements he made were voluntary or not, such as his confession, and that could be thrown out as evidence in court, depending on the findings of that hearing. His attorneys argued that some forensic evidence, such as the blood that was found in his car, as well as his confession, should be thrown out as evidence if his rights were violated. The state agrees that some statements should be thrown out, but are ultimately arguing that Behana Rivera directly implicated himself in Tibbetts' murder last year. The trial will be held at Woodbury County February 4th next year.
Thank you, Marissa. Moving on to today's weather, we're going to talk about those interesting fall temperatures / moving possibly into summer temperatures again. Bailey, what can you tell us?
Hold on to your hats. It's going to be a windy day in Iowa City. Wind speeds will range from 20 to 30 miles per hour. This morning, temperatures will stay in the low 50s with partly cloudy skies. And as we move into night, the winds will cut back and temperatures will drop to the high 30s. Wednesday and Thursday will be partly cloudy, with Wednesday reaching a high of 59 and Thursday hitting 47. The sun will return just in time for the weekend. Friday will be mostly sunny with a high of 51. For your football Saturday, even though the Hawks are in Evanston, watch parties will still be nice with sun and a high of 60. Be prepared for gusts of wind this morning and a cool evening tonight. Thank you, Lauren. Back to you.
RAGBRAI has been Iowa's premier cycling event for over 40 years, but next year another cross-state ride is entering the lineup. We have DITV director and cycling enthusiast John Roston in the studio to tell you everything you need to know about Iowa's Ride.
Thanks, Lauren. Sports can wait because next summer, Iowa will be putting the pedal to the metal and wheels to the pavement. The first annual Iowa's Ride was announced last week by RAGBRAI veteran director TJ Jeskowitz and his team, catching the attention of many Iowa cyclists. Iowa's Ride will take place over 7 days, beginning on the west side of the state and ending at the Mississippi River. The exact route of the event has yet to be announced, but it will be released sometime during November. There is no lottery system to determine who rides, meaning anyone and everyone is welcome to participate. The proceeds from Iowa's Ride will be split, with half of all funds going towards the Stead Family Children's Hospital here in Iowa City, and the other half will be given to smaller charities across the state. The ride is scheduled for July 19th through the 25th of 2020. After 40 years, it seems like Iowa cycling is starting to shift gears. I'll see you all in sports.
That seems pretty cool. John, let's talk about sports now.
What an exhausting run, but it's safe to say Iowa's offense gave the fans some hope this weekend.
Yes, that's right, John. I dove a little deeper into Iowa's problem with too many field goals.
Believe it or not, but through 7 games of the season, the Iowa Hawkeyes are tied with Notre Dame and LSU for the best red zone offense in the nation. The Hawkeyes have got to the red zone 24 times, and they've scored on all 24 of those drives. A big part of that is because Iowa's special team has been great all year. Keith Duncan has done everything that he's capable of. 17 field goals made this season and counting.
I mean, I love it. Of course, like, we'd rather kick extra points, but, you know, it's fun to go get some field goals out there. You know, it's a great job by our offense getting us in that position to kick, you know, go out there and get some points. So that's awesome, going out there and executing what, you know, we're going out there to do.
Kicker Keith Duncan had yet another great game for the Hawkeyes, but on a better note, the Hawkeye offense found the end zone not once, but twice. This only tells half of the story of the Iowa offense, because in the 2 games against ranked opponents, the Hawks have only scored a total of 15 points and only 1 touchdown. And let's be honest, Purdue's defense isn't anything special, but with Northwestern's strong defense looming around the corner, it was important for the Hawkeye offense to hit pay dirt.
Yes, that's a lot of confidence, especially when you get in the end zone. I mean, driving gives you confidence, but when you put it in the end zone, like our offense, instead of like getting 3 points, we get 6 points. That does a lot for the offense and for confidence. But for everybody, defense, go out there with some juice. Offense come off, and we're getting ready to go back on and do the same thing over again.
The Hawkeye offense still has a long ways to come, but hopefully that juice will keep the wins coming.
Well, Cade, winter is coming.
Yes, John, and that means there's less than 2 weeks until Iowa basketball hits the court again.
And there's one big question going into this season.
Will Jordan Bohannon play?
We have sports reporter Lucy Rodine standing by in the newsroom to try to answer that question.
Guys, I wish I had an answer for you. I don't think anyone has an answer, including Jordan Bohannon. But if you just look, in March, it was announced that he was going to be out possibly this entire season with a hip injury. Last season, he had to shoot up before every single game just so he could manage to get out on the court and play. A few weeks ago, Coach said, no, he's gone. We're not going to see him this year. But now he's saying, actually, there's a possibility. Ryan Kriener, his best friend and his teammate, says he thinks Jordan's playing. But the issue with his injury is that it's a very case-by-case scenario. We really don't know how this is going to affect Jordan. But here is him talking about, he's talked to other players to see what they've gone through with their injuries.
It was weird because it was different. I talked to a couple people that had it. They said it took them 8-9 months. Naslong took around 8 months, I think. And then Trey Jones, you saw Trey Jones at Duke. He had it, and he was back in 3 months. So it was totally different. It's a weird recovery process because everyone's different how their body heals. But I think a lot has to do with, the size of the bone that they took out and how the labral tear will heal in the progression throughout the last few months. So, but going forward, it's been feeling really good. I haven't had any pain the last month or so, and starting to run full speed and starting to really take off from the last 3 weeks or so.
Now, Lucy, could Jabo play only part of the season?
Yes, that's definitely a possibility. He could redshirt and do what Cordell Pimsleur did last year and just play a couple games, but that is not what Jordan Bohannon wants. He wants to play the entire season, and he definitely doesn't want to leave anything up to the NCAA. But the biggest thing that Jordan is worried about is he doesn't want to play half the season or come in late and ruin the flow of the team. But here is what Coach McCaffrey had to say on the possibility of Bohannon redshirting halfway through the season.
The bigger question might be, is that the smartest thing to do? Yeah, we can sneak him in a few games and maybe he gets 18 and we win a game. I think he's got to decide, are you playing, are we going to give it a go? Are we really going to give it a go and see if it responds the way that we hope it would? Because remember we said it's a 5 to 9 month rehab, so all of a sudden he starts to play and then he's realizing I'm still in pain and I can't move the way I wanted to move, I want to shut it down, then we can do that. So I think if we go in that direction, that's how it will play out.
Now, I'm thinking Bohannon's going to play this year just because I think so. But John Cade, that's all I've got for you. Back to you.
Thanks, Lucy. A solid newsroom from a solid reporter.
Now let's hope that Bohannon will be able to hit the court this season with the rest of the team.
That's all we have for you in sports today.
That was a great Taco Tuesday, John. Let's hope we have a better one next week.
Stay lit, guys.
Thank you for tuning in this Tuesday morning edition. Have a great day, Iowa City.